blimey. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the the World Championship Series for StarCraft 2. It's WCS Europe, round of 16, day 4 of 4. That's right, we were on our last day. No? No one unhappy? Okay, fine. Let's move on. We do have, of course, the top 16 players qualified into Europe, and this is how it's gone down so far. 3 of our groups already played, which means we've lost 6 of our players, but luckily 6 have gone through. Those 6: Vortex, MMA, Snoot, Jack G, Stardust, and Welmu. Today, though, we move on to Group D with MC, San, Nerchio, and a Brit. Yeah, that's right. For the first time in the round of 16, we finally have a British player. It's not just the commentary team. Also, time to meet a Frenchman right now who is waiting for me and is ready to do more action and see more Protoss blood.
No.
No?
It's the other races that are going to bleed.
Oh.
Red Eye.
Okay, all right. I tried to catch him out there. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Good?
Yeah. As always, I'm here for WCS for round of 16 or for any round. I'm always doing great. You don't need to ask me.
Okay, right. I won't ask you any more. I only asked because yesterday saw a Protoss clean sweep. You know, both guys going through. I mean, it was a good chance and opportunity, seeing as 75% of the group were Protoss. But does that make the Dark Lord happy?
Only he can answer that, I think.
Okay. Because it was a bit of a slaying of the foreigners as well yesterday. We lost 2. We lost both the Koreans obviously going through. Today we have a similar kind of situation. We're going to take a look at the 4 players in Group D right now and give you a little bit more background on those 4 players. You can see them on the screen right now. MC, Bling, San, Nerchio, all very similar aged. Quite incredible that we've got very similar aged players in here. But right now, the 2 that stand out remarkably are San and MC. Not surprising, perhaps. San already this year has done very well. Asus ROG, of course. MC, we know all about him. 2 consecutive finals in WCS Europe in Season 2 and Season 3 of last year. But the 2 guys alongside them are no slouches either. Nerchio's been here before. He's been in the round of 16. First time for Bling, though, which is great to see him at the round of 16 stage. We're going to start with him, though, mainly because he's the underdog in this group.
Yeah, I think so too. Bling, though, I think his PvP is pretty strong. And he's had the time to prepare here going into this group, knowing he's going to have to face 2 Protosses. He at least would have to beat one of them to be able to make it. So we'll see how this preparation shows. But I do think that San and MC are the overwhelming favorites here.
Okay, let's talk about San. We're going to move on to the other 2 in just a moment. San, right now, has the best PvZ in the world. So if he ends up having to play Nerchio, that's going to be tough for the Polish guy, right?
I think so, yeah. I think Nerchio, even against any of these guys, but in particular San, it's going to be almost... I was going to say almost impossible. Like, I don't want to kill the hype before the games, but
no, I understand.
I think he will be a huge underdog going to a match with somebody like San, who we've seen him tear down Zergs apart every single time he's faced one. So
yeah, he's over 70% right now overall. Every game he's played in Heart of the Swarm. Not only ranked 1 in the world for PvZ, but ranked 4 in the world for PvP, which is 8 places above MC. I think that's also worth pointing out, the fact that we've got he's got a lot of PvP potentially to play in this group. So does that make him the overall favourite, or is MC, with his experience and his titles, does he have the edge?
I think as much as it's nice to look at the stats to have an idea of how these players are doing overall, we have to remember that last time that they played in the studio here, in the Intel Extreme Masters Cologne, MC was able to beat San and eliminate him from the tournament. So anything's going to be possible between these 2, but MC, on the other hand, he's had a little bit of shaky results and performances recently, and I think he's definitely going to want to open this first match here with a statement, in my opinion, if he wants to go into the rest of the group with confidence. Okay, we're going to take a look at the bracket in just a moment. It is the usual format as you've come to know and love, of course, GSL-style formats with dual tournament. The bracket will be played through the first 2 matches. We'll play each other. The 2 winners will face each other, and the winner of those 2 will then play off for the place in the round of 8. We'll also have a second opportunity for the guys to go through the lower bracket and fill in that last gold spot. It will be the last one of the night. I also want to tell you that a little bit later on we'll have the draw for the round of 8. So once all the matches are done, we'll be back here to do the official draw to see who's drawn into the quarterfinals. Which 2 of this group are going to be in that draw? As much as I hate to be that guy who picks the obvious choices, I think San and MC are the most likely to be able to make it. But I'm going to return that with a question. It's the first time we have a British player in the round of 16. If he makes it to the round of 8, you have to do something special. What do? You dye your hair purple?
I don't know. Maybe I get a tattoo like Bling.
Oh my God! It's recorded. It's on camera. You cannot.
No. It's edited out. They'll finish it. They'll edit it out in post. This is not live, right? Okay.
Is it?
Anyway, thank you for that. So you're going for the obvious pick of MC and San.
Yeah.
Okay. We do need a Brit in the round of 8 because I'm just tired of it only being commentators in the round of 8. So I'm going to go with Bling this evening, give him a bit of home support because, let's face it, he needs it. He is the last player in that group that needs some help, right? He needs the bump up. Actually, he doesn't. He's full of confidence. You'll see him a bit later on. He's a cheeky chappy, and we're thrilled that he's in the round of 16. But he does have a tough group. It's Nerchio, MC, and San all going head-to-head. Let us know who you think is going to win the group and who's going to qualify through to the round of 8 via all the usual social media channels. You can use us on Facebook or on Twitter as well. Make sure you include the hashtag #WCS, and your tweet could even feature in the show. Thank you very much, Todd. For now, we're going to take a little break here at the analysis desk and head on over to the commentary team for our first match, which is Nerchio versus MC.
Thanks very much, guys, as we now get into our first best of 3 for today between MC and Nerchio. And I'm looking forward to this one. Nerchio, you know, we've seen him. He had a little bit of downtime during that last year, didn't really do too well, picked it up towards the end, and now he's only had to prepare for Protoss.
That's right. In Season 3 last year, he advanced from this very round. In the round of 16, he went into the top 8. And it's going to be a hard group. As much as everyone's looking at Bling as the complete underdog here, is Nerchio that guy too? Because this is going to be a difficult group for him, no doubt. It's the boss toss.
Yeah, he's scary. And he's looking not only to advance from here, but looking to put a lot of points on the table. He's currently in that top 16. He was at BlizzCon last year. He doesn't want to be losing out on big points early on in 2014.
So quite standard vetoes here. Daedalus Point is not a favoured Protoss map here, but neither are Yonsu and Habitation Station for Zerg. And Polar Knight also an MC. I think this is pretty much the same vetoes that we saw yesterday, and almost the day before. Every time we've had a Zerg against Protoss, these are kind of the standard vetoes.
Yeah.
Altazim, the biggest map here, and I think that was Nerchio's pick, and then Frost for MC, and then if need be, Heavy Rain. And if Nerchio is going to beat MC, Altazim Stronghold is going to be the map that he needs to win on to start this series up. If he doesn't win the first map, then this could be quite a fast 0-2.
Yeah, it could be. MC, we've always seen that high caliber play from him time and time again. He's been one of those players that has stayed relevant throughout his entire career. A lot of people said, you know, where's his championship in the past year, and like, where is his top position? But at the same time, he's always been sat around like those thirds, those fourths, those positions, which are really, really hard to attain in such a competitive field in StarCraft 2.
Surprisingly, MC's Zerg stat there, a little bit weaker than the others, but fear not. Despite it being low, MC's one of the most aggressive, in-your-face, proactive Zergs, or Protoss versus Zergs that you could meet. I think if you which unit would you describe MC as? If MC's favorite unit throughout his entire career, which unit do you think that is?
His favorite?
His most used favorite unit?
I would say Stalker.
Yes, correct answer. No, nothing else needed there. Stalker. Ability Blink.
He loves it.
So I think we're going to see a lot of those today against Nerchio. And if I was to describe MC and who he plays very similar to, probably Stardust. You know, in your face, can macro if he wants to, but will be very aggressive and putting the pressure on from the get-go. Nerchio's style, though, is very different to a lot of other Zerg players in the European scene, is that he's not a fan of Swarmhost like Tilo, and even Tilo may starting to admit that that may hinder his progress against Protoss players at the high level, which this is. If we aren't going to see Swarmhost from Nerchio, who simply doesn't like Swarmhosts, what are we going to see from him? He really does favor air strategies.
Oh, yes.
Mutalisk, Corruptors, mass expanding. Altazim Stronghold, perfect for that.
Yeah, it is. It really is. We've seen on bigger maps like Frost, for example, from Nerchio, those Mutalisk Corruptor styles come out and him really execute them very, very well. So I would say even better than any other European Zerg. I can't think of another one that does it as well as Nerchio right now. So that's certainly something that MC is going to be looking out for. But MC, it's MC. He's come into this tournament prepared. He's come into this group knowing how Nerchio plays.
MC is So in the Premier League, he's played in the Premier League twice, and he's got second place twice.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive. Obviously, a win is more impressive than that, but 2 second-place finishes. It's his 3rd season in Premier League in a row now, and that guy right there is going to be aiming for first. He's a natural-born winner in StarCraft 2.
Yes, he is. As we said, it's so relevant throughout the entire history of StarCraft. He has earned the most money. And look at him, already playing up to the camera.
He's loving life. Loving life. But Nerchio, you know, is a former winner, and during his prime, when he was on top, he was actually able to beat MC quite a few times. Towards the end of Wing of Liberty, when Broodlord Infestor was the strategy, Nerchio beat MC quite convincingly, actually.
It was crushing.
In 2012, like 3-0, 3-1 were his results back then against MC, so very, very impressive. But in Heart of the Swarm, we don't see Broodlord Infestor, and MC has won the last 2 times they've met. And one would imagine that would probably be the same case again today.
All right, well, the countdown's begun for our first series. Looking forward to this. It's been a little bit of a while since I've been able to cast MC, but he is here. Likewise, Nerchio, one of, as much as he doesn't believe it, one of my favourite Zerg players in Europe, because the way he plays is...
He's going to watch this VOD back and say you're sarcastic, so you can't win either way.
No, I know, I guess not. He still tweets that he hates us and doesn't like, but all in good banter, as now we will have these two facing off. An Altazim Stronghold, excited to start things off on this map. I've come to love it as we now get into it. First best of 3 of the day to find out the last 2 players moving on to the round of 8.
Already ranked 12th MC this year.
It's a good start.
It's a very good start.
All right, let's jump in as we have now spawning down to the bottom right-hand corner as our red Protoss. Representing South Korea and Global Esports Management, it's MC.
You did a much better impression of yourself than I did of you yesterday.
Oh, I didn't hear your impression yesterday.
Oh, that's good.
And spawning down to the bottom left-hand corner as our blue Zerg representing Team Acer, it's Nerchio. I'm going to go back and watch the one now.
So Nerchio was, for a lot of his career in 2011 and 12, before Stefano really took off as the #1 player, Nerchio was toe-to-toe with... Yeah. Because if we look at the newer age of StarCraft 2 non-Koreans, there was the Stefano, Naniwa, Scarlet trio, who's the best? But before Scarlet and Naniwa really took off themselves, it was always, is it Nerchio or Stefano?
Exactly.
And head-to-head, it was actually heavily favored towards Nerchio. So whenever that question arose, Nerchio was always, it's me, I always beat him, and carried that through until Stefano won back-to-back tournaments.
And to reinforce your point relating to this match specifically, it was epitomized for Nerchio to challenge for that title during that tournament in Cologne, where he beat MC 3-0. So
a long time ago, that.
Yeah, back in 2012.
Interesting from Nerchio here, and we know that MC is a bit of a cheeky individual sometimes and will try to cannon rush you, use unorthodox strategies, aggressive ones in the get-go. Nerchio's opened up with a bit of a conservative opening here. He's decided to go spawning pool first and then the hatchery. And on this map this size, it's very common for the Protoss player to be very greedy and go for the Nexus first, then Gateway, and then add on double gases and just kind of, you know, increases economy and tech at the same time. And Nerchio, that basically means that he could have gone 3 hatchery first, then spawner pool, and just open up himself that way a little bit as well. But he's opened up spawner pool hatchery here, and you do have to, when putting these 2 builds together, favor MC's opening.
Yeah, he just also gets the first scout off as well. Well, they both spot each other at almost exactly the same time with that Overlord now seeing the the Gateway over on the right-hand side. So not really a whole lot being kept from one another. This drone's going to try and go down to that 3rd base, and the probe's not going to try and block, just a little bit too far away with the Zerglings to hinder as well. Yeah,
nice micro there by Nerchio too, using the creep to his advantage there, kind of hitting, then stepping forward on creep, then hitting again, instead of just trailing the probe behind. The probe could have escaped, so Nerchio makes sure he gets that kill there. And despite Nerchio and Bling, 2 players that you look in this group and be like, yeah, I'm probably going to take MC and San. That's where my money's going to be. They absolutely can surprise people today. Todd mentioned it. Bling has got some good PvP. He surprised a lot of people in the round of 32.
Yeah, he did.
And Nerchio's just a player that may get overlooked today. Maybe. But, you know, we'll just judge on the performances.
It's not as clear cut as that, is what you're saying. And it's very, very true. Nerchio, again, he's only had to practice against Protoss, and whilst it wasn't exactly his favorite of matchups, having this focus time just on this one matchup is certainly going to be a benefit to a professional like Nerchio.
So Nerchio's overlords are actually in pretty good positions here. You've got one that's actually hooked around the back, so he can try to look what MC's up to, because MC's a tricky individual. You always want to know what he's doing. So that overlord can see the gases on the natural there. He can poke in and get more detailed information. And there's another overlord to the bottom left here that's going to start to swing towards the main base. MC's chosen his tech choice already, and it's a pretty fast Stargate coming in. So from the Stargate, he opens up with mainly two options to go with: Phoenix play or Oracle play. And I'm pretty sure that MC's most likely going to take a fast third off it to power his economy and then really hit with a strong infrastructure in the mid-game with lots of gateways and so on. It's going to be the Oracle that he chooses. So the Oracle here, very good at killing queens. It can kill a queen one-on-one. It can go straight for the drone line and suicide itself in. And also is very good against any potential Zerglings that were trying to harass a third Nexus if it was down fast. Of course, the Oracle doing extra damage versus light.
And with that in mind, Nerchio's actually doing a pretty good job of connecting these bases up with the creep. He's got a creep tumor from his third actively moving towards his main base so that he can connect everything up. Because obviously, as you said, one Oracle kills one queen. You do want that defense in place, just in case this is to be the case.
It has been spotted, so Nerchio builds a spore, and the queen is there, going to get killed off, actually, unless he brings another one down from the main base. I think he should have maybe anticipated that to happen, and so the Oracle will win this one, and will get a drone too. Definitely thought that the main queen should have come down a little bit faster. Maybe a little bit of a mistake there from Nerchio.
Yeah, there's the cancel on that one, just because he thought that, you know, if it's just one Oracle coming over, then it'll be okay. But with a second Oracle, maybe he shouldn't have cancelled that spore.
Void Ray in the main base there, and it does get spotted by Nerchio. So a good pickup scout there from Nerchio. Sees that this natural location, or third, is definitely under threat.
And there's only one queen there. The spore could have helped out, but now the queen is working on it and just dies off instantly.
So not the best of starts here for Nerchio. 2 queens down, an abused third base here. And Void Ray with gateways behind this. Depending on how many gateways we add on, it will depend on how aggressive MC wants to be. Probably just third base, but a good start for MC here. Very, very good start for him. A little bit supply block, which does hurt him a little bit, but look at the resources lost tab.
Yeah, it's very clinical, very clean, straight down the line. He's just going to pull back with this, and he is continuing the Void Ray production. I really do like this. He'll be able to secure that third base nice and easy.
I think overall, in every single game that any Protoss plays today, they must be using Stargate-based strategies against Nerchio, who favors Mutilus play usually. Definitely a wise choice. Hydralisk then coming in, though.
And this is one of the mid-game things that Nerchio can switch up into, right? We've seen him time and time again. If he doesn't get the opportunity to open up his Spire, it's always to that Hydralisk.
And this is a very low drone count, even though it's been force low because we have got like 8 kills. This is 55 workers with a lot of Lings, and maybe Hydralisk going to be pushed out soon. So Nerchio can be aggressive. Look at his creep spread from the third base. One direction, just down the right-hand side. And if he builds up a lot of Hydralisk here, definitely good pressure. The Spire is being built here. He's got all 6 gases, so his gas income is quite tidy at the moment.
And that Twilight Council being added on here for MC as well. So he's just looking to secure his economy from this point. Because the Spire's now in play here for Nerchio as well. He almost always throws them down both at the same time.
If you think about what MC's seen, he's seen the Hydralisk den, but not the Spire. And with no Hydralisk being made at all the gas is going to be dedicated to the Spire. And with no continuation of Stargate units or additional Stargates to help out, sure, Blink is on its way and +1 attack is on its way. There are 3 Void Rays and Mothership Core for Photon Overcharge. But Nerchio could start to maybe dictate the pace of this game a little bit. He's got a 4th base and will probably look for a pretty fast 5th as well, but this is going to be a bit of a surprising attack. Look, we have 1,000 gas banked up.
And he's moving into position with these 3 Void Rays and Mothership Core to recall out.
He hasn't
and try
quite got enough minerals to match his gas count. Imagine if he popped out 10 Mulis right now, snipes the Mothership Core before it can recall and kills 3 Void Rays. He'd get momentum in this game, but it's a little bit late.
Those 3 Void Rays can kill those 2 spores off very quickly if they focus them down.
Yeah, this is a little bit... I wish Nerchio had built his Mutilus. I would have liked to see him having an advantage at this position.
And he's not going to use the charge up on that, and there he goes actually. And that Queen here has to be very, very careful. That's a lot of firepower, whereas the Oracles should decide to charge up as well. But
15 Mutilus.
Oh, yeah, they're on the way.
If he can get the Mutilus out before he loses the hatch, then that's good. Actually, Minchel, MC, sees the Spire and backs off. He's like, oh god, okay.
Yeah, has to get out of that.
And he's going to start adding on a lot of Stalkers from this point. He's at 12 already, +2's on the way, and only Stalkers be made. Chronoboosting out that +2. He knows his opponent's going to be playing Mutalisks.
And with the Carapace on the way as well, that's going to help out against Phoenix once they start production. Always nice to have that against the 2 attacks that the Phoenix do have. And, well, now MC with Robo.
Yeah, the Robo's not going to be too useful here, but these Mutalisks, if they get damage dealt, then we may start to see... well, MC's moving out. This is kind of nice because it's like a timing while the Mutalisks are low, but how is he going to deal with this? Does he have to come back? If he comes back, that buys Nerchio more time.
He almost has to. Not only is this probe line vulnerable, but also the Stargate's vulnerable.
He's going to recall? No, he's going to walk back. So this is actually a really nice move here from Nerchio. Forces the recall back. As long as he doesn't lose any Mutalisks, it's a good play.
There is Blink, so the Stalkers can try and chase this down, but still, the Mutalisks just bounce between these 3 locations.
He's killed
very annoying.
20, 30 probes already, I think.
This is, he's up to 30.
He's killed 30 probes!
This is really, really bad here for MC. And Nerchio's playing this out well, and MC just was not aware.
And Nerchio in this position would need to keep MC pinned back, because if MC goes and attacks, Nerchio can't stop it. But if Nerchio's able to get a 4th base running, a 5th base up and running, he would be in decent position. That's a nice revelation on these units. We can spot them where they are or won't get blindsided.
Yeah, it's a very, very good use of that ability on them. But look at that, 70 workers to 43 now, with Nerchio mining off 8 gases. And this is where Nerchio, even if your opponent is going to go for some extra Stargates, he still actually feels comfortable in this position. He's weird. He loves just going Muta, Corruptor, really completely dominating the skies. And now MC is going to have to get out of this tricky spot.
Yeah, this is a very tricky spot now. And look, he can even fight Stalkers in small amounts, not all of them, but he's picking off Stalkers here, trading away these units, keeping the army count low. Look at the supply differences. The game's changed.
There's 5 Mutalisks on the way at any given time here. He's going to be going up to like 33 Mutalisks whilst all of this is going on.
So overall, Nerchio's game plan at this point, while he is controlling the pace of this game, is just to get damage dealt with these, trade off a couple of units here and there, not to allow MC to build up a massive army, but also not keep his Mutalisk count low. So it's a bit of both, mixing that up. But overall, he's just right now harass. Oh, +3's big. Yeah, that's a nice pick off there.
He really didn't up the Stalkers. Oh, okay.
He knows eventually MC is going to get sick and tired of this, and his defense will be strong enough where we will see MC push out. And as long as Nerchio's ready for that very moment with a high Mutalisk count, he's going to walk away with this. And remember that if Nerchio wants to win this best of 3, this is the map that he has to take a map on.
And I'm actually quite surprised that MC dedicated his gas resource, whilst these small engagements go on, to Templar Archives as opposed to Stargate-based play to actually counter this, because a map like this, the Mutalisks can keep dancing around these Archons, etc.
Yeah, he's just getting ready for eventually when he has enough units to defend and then also go attack. It's very hard for Mutalisks to engage into Archons. I think that MC was like, I don't have enough time to try to go up to Stargate, Fleet Beacon range, build up my Phoenix count while keeping the Stalker count high.
Because they're on his doorstep.
He's just chosen the faster and easier option at this point, even though it's not necessarily the best one against Mutalisks. It was just the easier one for the time being.
Now these Mutalisks still just going to continue to dive in and keep MC pinned in his corner of the map. Stalkers were all in odd locations so that they can just jump around in between these 3 bases.
Yeah, and look at this, 9 Spine Crawlers.
Yeah,
he knows that MC's defense is getting quite good now as his unit count rises up again, so maybe Nerchio can't keep going in. But if MC comes across, he has to fight in spines.
That's very, very difficult to break.
And it's only air. It's only air. There are no ground upgrades at all from Nerchio. It is pure air.
It's pure Mutalisk.
Pure Mutalisks.
And that's scary. That is scary, especially since they're getting +2 Carapace now as well. We did see MC throw a few Hallucinated Phoenix up to the top left-hand corner so he can keep an eye on how many bases his opponent has. But still, he needs to find a way out of this corner because he's actually losing a substantial amount of Stalkers here to just Mutas alone.
And the thing is this is completely fine for Nerchio to do because he's got such a high gas income. Those Mutalisks he just lost, he just instantly rebuilds them. So it's like his Mutalisk count is always keeping the same, and MC's struggling because he's running out of money while Nerchio continues to expand around the map. And I'd just like to quote MC for not too long ago, may even be in the round of 32 or whatever, but I think he was asked a question by one of us or someone else, what do you think about Swarm Host? He's like, Swarm Host easy peasy. It's Mutalisks that are imbalanced, and he doesn't like to play against them. And we can quite see it here, that this may they get to him a little bit.
I mean, the fact that MC has been contained on the 3 bases and not allowed to establish any more economy than that, he's so restricted because Nerchio knows that as he continues these trades on, his gas income is always so much better, so he can afford these trades, whereas MC really can't. I mean, his army is becoming efficient, but not quite as efficient as what we're seeing Nerchio, even despite throwing away so many mutas.
Yeah, and it's a great map to play this on because it's very difficult for one army to join the other and defend all these bases. MC did get the Dark Shrine, but it was spotted by Nerchio. There are DTs that went to the 5th base of Nerchio, but he's already got a Spore and Spine, and it's just perfectly defended. No problem, no worry whatsoever. Nerchio's like, is he really on 3 bases? And sent 1 Mutalist to the top right to scout for potential expansions which could have gone unnoticed. And through not seeing anything, I think he's in a very, very, very confident and comfortable position.
And I mean, it shows, even though MC has had revelation on these Mutalisks at almost any given point in time, he still has having a hard time of combating them. How do you keep bouncing between these bases? It's very difficult, and the mutas just do not stop.
And MC's just going around in circles. See, I mean, he's at 150 supply pretty much for the last 10 minutes in this game, or 5-10 minutes. He just can't increase above that. Every time he loses units, he just rebuilds back to what he was supply count was at before.
And this is just a scary start here for MC. He is actually just being pinned down, dominated by Nerchio, who is now maxed out on Mutalisks. He has 35 out right now. That storm wasn't too bad, but the problem is that the Mutalisks always just fly away to another corner and heal up very, very fast.
The one chance that MC has still is in a maybe direct engagement. Maybe he has enough with a couple of good storms and good Archon hits, but yeah.
It's going to be tough. It is. It really is. I mean, even if he didn't want to keep making Mutalisks, he's up to 44 right now. He has that creep extended towards his opponent's base. He can always see whenever a push is coming, even if the Mutalisks start spotting them.
Prism just...
Oh, bye-bye, little guy. Sad times for MC. He can't catch a break at all in this first game.
This is quite one-sided, to be fair.
Yeah, the upgrades for these Mutalisks are going to be at 2-2 very soon.
Yeah, if I was MC in these next games, I'd definitely be... Well, that's a couple of good storms there, but once again, Nerchio just backs out and we'll just let these regenerate. If I was a Protoss player against Nerchio, like I said before, I think the Stargate focus play, like we saw originally from SOS and Nerio and so on earlier in 2013, would probably be the way to play against Nerchio.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're going to have to encounter a lot of Hydra timings if you play that style, but if you're good enough against that, then 3 Stargate play is going to be the best way against this, to be able to reactionary start these Phoenixes up if Nerchio tries to play like this again.
And this just feels too late. The Fleet Beacon is Stargate now. The damage has already really been done. Yeah. Another Storm will try and push this off, but the Mutalisks just aren't dying, and only just now has +1 armor finished up for Protoss. And against Glaive Worms from Mutalisks, armor is actually a pretty big deal. If you can have like a Guardian Shield there as well to soak up the damage, the Stalkers are going to be trading a whole lot more efficient.
Well, MC does stop a base there, but MC pretty much needs to get a new base himself. This is going to be very hard to make these Phoenixes work because he's so starved on money.
I mean, look at his gas. It's really not enough to fuel this at all.
Yeah. He's still at 150 supply, like I mentioned a couple minutes back. He just can't go above that right now.
I'm wondering, for now, with this +2 weapons finishing here for Nerchio, these trades are just going to become all the more efficient, all the more effective. I mean, and Impulse Crystals is now on the way for the Phoenix, so I suppose they can try and help out. But if MC's able to recover from this spot with the limited amount of income he has...
It would be a pretty impressive comeback, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Well, he's got some breathing room now, as the Mutalisks have to divide themselves to go deal with this Warp Prism, which managed to escape. A bit of a mistake there from Nerchio not to have an Overlord or something down the bottom left there.
That's a good pickup if he can get that Spire, and indeed he will. That's very, very nice. Stops +2 weapons from actually finishing up.
Look at Nerchio, splits his Mutalisks up to stop MC from taking a 4th. He knows that's very important at this moment. I'm surprised with Nerchio that hasn't looked at any form of transitions in this game. Why, with the money he has, why aren't 3 Evolution Chambers upgrading every single upgrade there is in the game, just in case?
So he can dominate the ground.
So he can dominate the ground. Imagine if Nerchio, would, right now with the gas he has melee, attack, and carapace being researched, and he can keep MC back, and then if need be, depending on the unit composition that MC has, and if you look at the unit tab, it's what, 24 Stalkers, 2 Archons, and Phoenixes? He could go to Ultralisk like that and just end the game. So that, I suppose, is like a safety net, which a lot of players would usually do here, and that is maybe a weakness that Nerchio has at this point in this game.
Yeah, you're right, because you're forcing him down the route now. The only thing he can do is Phoenix. Yeah. So why not make all those Ultralisks and then start cleaving away at everything? Because the Phoenix are rendered completely
and they
redundant.
have gone unnoticed, by the way. The Phoenix is here, so they are going to come out with a bit of a surprise, and the range is done. So he's actually going to be able to combat these Mutalisks, and if he's able to push them back and then counterattack with this small army that he has, there is a window of opportunity for MC.
Nerchio has to assume that something's going on. Now they are revealed. He pulls straight on back.
Yeah,
he
starts Corruptors immediately. Starts Corruptors immediately. He's like, ooh, okay.
But now he's maxed out. He actually needs to trade something away so he can make more Corruptors.
Yep.
And this is going to continue on, but those Phoenix can just keep chasing because the Corruptors are going to take a long time to get to these Mutalisks. He can just keep chasing like this.
All right, so is this the area where MC can come back? And I think a lot of MC fans are like, why didn't you do this earlier?
Yeah.
Why didn't you try and get this done earlier?
But this is the recovery point. This really is. This is where MC now has an opportunity to kill off a good portion of Nerchio's army.
Yeah, but Nerchio's got a lot of bank, though, so even though he's losing a lot, he can replenish a lot, and it is a lot of Corruptors. If he adds on a 50-50 ratio with Corruptors and Mutalisk, it might be hard for these Phoenix numbers that aren't that high in number. But one thing's for sure, MC can take a fourth now.
Yeah, he can. That's actually where he has to go right now and do that.
Where are the Corruptors?
Immortals start because MC's worried about an Ultralisk transition. He's like, well, you must be doing something behind this, because he hasn't had eyes on his opponent's base for quite a while, apart from when he got that Spire.
And Nerchio's only has 60 drones here. That's not a lot of drones. It's a high army count, and his minerals are very low. And MC's making these work with these Phoenixes.
Yeah.
He's turning this game around a little bit now.
He is. I mean, with a low Corruptor count like this, Anion Pulse Crystals with the pretty much exactly the same range as it, but they move whilst firing, whereas the Corruptors have to like stop and start and stop and start during that attack. So with low numbers of Corruptors, you can continue to combat this briefly, but he doesn't want to be stood still or losing some of those Phoenix.
Yeah, even if there was Infestors or something to lock down the Phoenixes, where he could just pop all of them all at once. Starting to get a little bit worried for Nerchio. Starting to get a little bit worried, because this should have been his game, but I'm wondering if he's going to be able to win it at all.
I mean, look at the supply counts, man. They are evening up. The ground army's coming to help out as well. I mean, I don't think that Nerchio can actually engage that army straight up because of how well the Stalker's going to do against the Corruptors on the ground. And the Archons, of course, which Corruptors always clump up.
This is good. If you can just snipe that off and then go out again, that's nice.
That is very nice. The Corruptors zoning out those Phoenix. Brilliant move here by Nerchio. Nice. Picks it off, gets right on out of there as well.
That helps.
Certainly does. And whoop. Oh, okay, one of these two Corruptors, one or two of those are going to die. But he does have Blink. He's a little bit apprehensive about blinking forwards, though, because the Mutalist could just turn around and help out. Or a little Void Ray.
So MC's main base is run out. His natural's almost gone. He's got a little bit left in his third, but soon he won't have any income at all. And remember that Nerchio's still mining quite happily across the other side of the map. That is something to keep in consideration. Surprised that with the high gas count that we aren't actually seeing any Infestors. They don't need upgrades. They only need pathogen glands. You can even skip on that if you want to.
You could.
And he could just lock this down, and it would probably make it a lot easier to engage. 40 Mutalisks, 15, 16 Corruptors.
But I mean, this is how we anticipated Nerchio playing, right? This is Nerchio to a T in the European scene right now, and he makes it look good. But MC's still fighting back. He's still trying to keep himself in this. He really wants to hunt down those Corruptors with his ground army.
Yeah, but every Phoenix he loses is one that he might not be able to replenish soon.
Nice volley from the Archon. It gets a second volley as well. A third one hits. Those Corruptors are very, very low. He's going to go for this. Guardian Shield helps out a lot here in this fight. If he can bring down even more of those Corruptors, that's very, very nice here for MC.
MC's dropping in supply, though. The Corruptors are down, which means the Phoenixes can start to chase these Mutalisks. 7 Corruptors being remade here. MC's going across the map now. He is mining from that fourth base, or will be in a short second here. That Nexus is almost done. Ooh, Queen's to the rescue.
Falling back to those spines if he can, but they're not in range of any of this fight right now. MC's trying to take the engagement straight on. The transfuses on the Mutalists are pretty good, keeping alive some of them here. But MC with firepower is actually doing well. If he just pulls back to the spines, though, there's no way that MC can break that.
Nexus is done, which means Phoenix production can continue here.
Gets into those gases as quickly as possible. Really, really needs that resource. Needs everything, actually. The minerals as well, because he is just mined out all across those 3. But now the Phoenix. the MC would love to go and harass some of those bases up to the top left with those, but he just can't. He's so fearful of those Mutalisks in the mid, and he needs to protect that 4th base. So he's in a tight bind. He still needs to protect that as much as possible.
We might see Nerchio try that little maneuver that he had earlier on the 4th base. Ooh, Pathogen Glands and Burrow too. That's actually really cool to use both. So the thing that Nerchio's looking at doing now is obviously incorporating Infestors to lock down the Phoenixes so he can fight and destroy them all. But by researching Burrow here, he's going to be able to borrow the Infestors, which will not be seen unless there's an observer, which there isn't. And then if he's able to catch the Phoenixes, well, there's one observer with the main army, but not with the air, of course. If he's able to borrow the Infestors, pop up, fungal, lock down, then of course he can destroy everything. Would be a nice maneuver, but MC's mining again from that 4th. Always a bit of a worry, but he is mined out on all other 3 bases.
Yeah, that is the focal point. He has to protect that 4th base. It cannot die. If it does, then Nerchio, with his economy, is just going to run him over, as he's trying to already. He underpowers a lot of those gateways, but he's not really wanting to warp in a huge amount from those anyway. He just needs a lot of Phoenix.
A lot of air, a lot of air.
And he's actually catching some of these Corruptors on the retreat out. If you can keep these Corruptor numbers low, this could be going okay for MC, but there's still an uphill struggle.
Yeah, MC's going to take another base in a minute. Here to the top right here, he's got a probe and pylon, which is obviously going to help out a lot here too, to increase his income. But he might not be able to use that Nexus. If Nerchio is able to set this up nicely, then he can kill all the Phoenixes instantaneously, which is going to be quite game-ending per se. Could have looked to do this move a little bit earlier, some are probably saying here from Nerchio. Let's see if he can make this work. If it works, it's going to be a confidence destroyer for MC, because he's like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to make the comeback, and the fans will cheer my name. They will say 2 letters and 2 letters alone, MC. But if this works, then that dream is shattered.
Dude, I'm imagining him stood in the middle of the Coliseum, looking around him as the crowds cheer him on. That's what he's thinking right now.
Yeah, he's thinking that.
But he wants that. He wants that.
So let's hopefully get these guys borrowed, and let's see a little trick here from Nerchio.
But MC has to surely be anticipating a move like this.
Look at this. Nerchio's going to bring the attention to this base, and then he's going to set it up. You get rid of the cannons so there's no detection. If he sets this up nicely, where are the borrowed Infestors? There they are.
Oh.
All right, this could be sick.
I really want to say the C word for in control, but I don't think he'd be too pleased.
Can he bait the Phoenixes in? Here we go. He's going to try and do it. Chase me.
Split second. Oh, he misses one of them.
Oh, that's big. Oh, they're all there.
Oh, they all flew into the second one as well, and bye-bye Phoenixes.
Yeah.
That is earth-shattering for MC.
Yeah.
Oh, nice storm so on the retreat out, but no Mutalisks die, so they just go home and heal.
Phoenix count reset, only 2 on the field.
Oh, jeez.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect execution there by Nerchio, and now this is a game-winning position.
The supply of MC just plummeted. He's trying to chase this down, trying to kill off those Mutalisks as they are weakened, but even that is not going to work. MC, he's going to try and chase. Nerchio just runs away and heals up to fight another day.
Yeah, he'll heal up and then turn around and fight. He's got 11 more Mutalisks being added on to the ones that we see on screen. There's no way he's losing the fight. He can turn around and fight these Stalkers, in all honesty. But with the money that Nerchio has, he is mining still across all these bases. Great move, great finisher. GG Nerchio. Despite all the odds, Nerchio's a winner. He wins map number 1, Clarish.
Oh, all those doubters, He shows them.
He shows them who's the best gamer in the world.
Well, there you go.
Do you remember In Control at Home Story Cup when he was commentating over Nerchio's thought process? He was like, it was something like, with Nerchio's grins. It was so funny. I never laughed so hard in all my life. It was so good. The highlights of that were fantastic. It was something like, yes, another victory is mine. You know, like this evil voice of how Nerchio's thinking. You just look at that and you're like, yes, MC destroyed.
Nerchio is the Mr. Burns of the StarCraft world. He has these evil plots all going on in his mind.
Yeah.
You know who Nerchio is? He's that guy, that Megamind guy from the anime. Not anime, it's like an animated series. Sorry, an animated film. That blue guy, he's Megamind.
Megamind. Yes, okay, yeah.
That's who Nerchio is.
Megamind.
He is Megamind.
Yes, with his Mutalisks and Corruptors. Good game there from Nerchio, but that was the map to win on against MC. The next 2 maps are smaller, it's much more difficult to pull off that style. If any of the two maps that it's going to work are Altazim and Frost, which is the next map, Frost. So Nerchio is definitely possible. There's a possibility for him to use the same style again. And I think he used it in the round of 32 against Hazuobs as well.
Yes, he did.
If I'm not mistaken, it could have been the season before, but it was this season. And he destroyed, like, killed it.
It's scary to play against.
Pinned back in 3 bases. Nerchio couldn't do anything. It was perfectly done. This is the map that he can do on. Heavy Rain, not as much. So Heavy Rain's the last map. Nerchio could do this, man. He could upset MC.
All right, well, we're going to get into it. Game number 2 now on the way between Nerchio and MC. As Nerchio leads 1-0 so far, upsetting a few people's predictions, but will he continue that on in this first series of the day? Nerchio wants to make it have more Zergs up in that top 8, as we now have spawning down to the bottom left-hand corner, the boss toss himself, representing South Korea. It is MC. And down to the bottom right-hand corner, we have our blue Zerg. Currently 1 game up, representing Team Acer. It is Nerchio.
Nerchio's gonna kill you. Nerchio's gonna kill you. All right, so a nice and fast scout here from MC, which is going to block any hatchery first attempt from Nerchio. And he's just going to settle for a spawning pool first, but he settled for it in game number 1, so it's not going to be really too much of an issue here for Nerchio. MC is full of confidence, but he got beat down a little bit in the other day in the Acer Team Story qualifiers. His team Bounty Hunters went on a losing streak versus Wellmu. MC losing 2 of the games there, and he was quite confident they were going to qualify, but unfortunately were not. Doesn't want to do bad here and have back-to-back not the best amazing results.
Hey, that was ambitious. But MC gets away with that, and what's the spawning pool, so all is good for MC. But yeah, like, they really got upset by that devilish little Finn when it came to qualifying for ATC. And that's, for a team, or a team in inverted commas, with that caliber of player, people like MC in there, First in there, Yoda in there, that's not something you expect. And as you said, MC lost twice, so... that's kind of got to rattle him a little bit, especially after losing this first game as well to Nerchio in the way he did.
Did you know in the last 2 years, MC has finished top 3 8 times?
8 times. And where's that championship, though? Where is it?
Yeah, his last championship, I think, was maybe Red Bull or something.
It's a long time ago.
That was summer 2012 was MC's last major victory. Summer 2012. We're approaching summertime soon.
And when you say MC, you think, oh, okay, champion.
GSL
that's
champion.
That's 2 years ago.
Yeah, since then, he's since that victory, he's had like 5 or 6 different second place finishes.
Yeah.
A secret Kong, some say.
Yeah. And I'm sure he does not appreciate the name.
No, no, no. So quite standard openings here from both players. Just spawn and pull into hatchery for Nerchio, whereas MC's taking his second base here with the support of the Forge and Cannon. Now Gateway and Gas is finishing up. Of course, we'll be looking to throw down his cybernetics core very, very shortly. In these close positions here for MC, definitely could be looking quite aggressive in the mid stages, whether it be a faster immortal attack or a slower blink attack from a fast third. 2 common strategies that we do see in these positions. And that's actually an interesting position for the cybernetics core, because he doesn't have any pylons inside his main base. Only 2 on the natural. Nerchio's going to have full reading ability on the cybernetics core. You can see if any chrono boost goes into it with the overlord behind the natural, which is actually pretty good for Nerchio.
And in the end, I think MC here, he either has to hit something really aggressive, as you just mentioned, or he has to open Stargate and play a Stargate play, because you cannot have a Zerg get into the position that Nerchio did in game number 1.
The problem is, though, Kalaris, if you try to play a regular Stargate play in these positions, because the distance is so close, Ling Hydra, Roach Hydra attacks are pretty strong. Because of the close distance, it's easier for Nerchio to reinforce. You have low units because it's hit faster. So it is difficult to play that standard style here. So MC's got to make a strong decision on what he's going to do. And he's got a got a credit boost saved up.
Yeah, he does. I think one thing that really, when you look at Nerchio's ZVP, if you think back to previous seasons when he was playing against Genius, Genius was like always hitting him really, really early, really hard, and Nerchio looked dumbfounded. He looked stumbled. It was really hard for him to hold on against, and that was the big weakness I feel for Nerchio in this matchup. If you let him get into that mid game, late game, he's much, much more comfortable, like most Zergs. But we do now have the Stargate on the way for MC.
Yeah, so Stargate is the choice here, and this, I would assume, is going to be Phoenix's. Just to kind of control the game a little bit more, scout exactly what Nerchio's up to. Nerchio's throwing down a Roach Horn just in case we are to see any form of aggression come out from MC. But let's see what he's going to choose. I'm assuming Phoenix's, it may not be. That is a false scout by Nerchio, by the way. He goes in and spots it. Phoenix's is the count here, so maybe MC's going to bite the bullet and try to play a Phoenix 3 or 4 gateway expansion, third expansion that is, over to Colossus.
Well, with that Roach Horn on the way, after seeing that Stargate play, like, why would you keep going on with that if you didn't have something, like, aggressive in mind? I mean, this could quite happily just turn into a very, very heavy attack here from Nerchio in the next couple of minutes.
Yeah,
I
think he's going to throw the layer down pretty fast here. Maybe get the attack upgrade from the single evolution chamber, layer into Hydralisks. That's what I had assumed from him, because like I mentioned, if it's going to be Phoenix's, it's hard to go Phoenix's then to an attack, so it's usually Phoenix's into an expansion, obviously the only other thing you can really do. And then that's where the Hydralisk play is going to be really good, and especially if the creep spread's focused through the middle nice and early, which it already started to be.
Yeah.
And the drone count is climbing really fast.
It's going to be at 60-some.
Yeah, you can get gases on the third base in a second here, and just continue to increase his gas income, which means he has more Hydralisks.
Adds on the spores, protecting himself here as well. If he doesn't lose too many drones, then this punch that he wants to go for in the mid-game is going to be exceedingly strong.
Yeah, and spores everywhere now. Almost perfectly timed. A little bit slow inside these bases. As you see, the Phoenixes are there before the spores are ready. A little bit mistimed.
He's taking no risks, though. He's adding on 2 at each base, which I do love.
Yep.
But unfortunately, he does get caught off a little bit, as you mentioned.
All right, so MC's now on 3 gateways, robotics facility. He may play this really slow in terms of when his third base timing is done, because you can start to take it now, which is what Nerchio's looking for, but you could wait a little bit longer and get the robotics bay before you even try to do that, to sit more tightly on Colossus and make sure you have Colossus. But he throws down the Nexus now, and already 13 Roaches, Roach Speed and Hydralisk Den on the way. MC, first of all, needs to go and spot that he can see the Hydralisk Den, which he hasn't spotted in, and then he has to get ready for the sickest of defense, because this is going to be a lot of units waypointed across, and Nerchio is going to be looking to smack this one home and go to the winner's game.
And he sees the Roaches in production. He saw some already popping out here, so he has to be wondering exactly what's going on. He pretty much can anticipate this. The Hydras are now on the way. The creep spread through the middle of the map is very aggressive. He even sees that going as well. So, MC, you better get ready, pal.
He's starting Void Rays, which are going to help. The force fields need to be MC force fields from 2011, baby, where he won these championships. They need to be perfect. 11 more Roaches. Good. This attack is happening, and this is a serious assault. Unfortunately for Nerchio, he's a little bit supply capped because he would be liking to build more and more units, but he's going to have to build overlords first. But either way, there are 13 Roaches and about 15 off Hydralisk. That's still a lot. MC needs to hold on with the initial set of force fields and Void Ray and Mothership Core Photon Overcharge to buy time for the Colossus. Once he gets to Colossus, that's where he's safe, but that's still a while. As we can see, the robotic space not even finished yet.
MC would have loved to have caught maybe 1 or 2 of these Hydralisks whilst they were coming out from alternate locations just to bring them down with the Phoenix, but he didn't get any opportunity to at all, and now Nerchio has been...
second cannon there from MC, an aggressive place cannon. He needs to hold on.
He's gone uncontested. Nerchio now is looking to put on the pressure. He has gone back to droning behind this with Infestation Pit, but this is still a lot of damage that he could do with these Roach Hydras.
Yeah, he can go up towards the Hive and maybe get Vipers out for the anticipated Colossus play, but so far MC is surviving, obviously, because not an assault has been launched, and the Colossus are going to get out here. Nerchio isn't going to press issue. Remember, he's only on 3 bases, not 4, and he does want to do damage soon. This is where MC's the weakest.
All right, well, he's going to sit back and sit back on his 4th base.
If he doesn't attack now, which he doesn't look like he is, MC survives this stage of the game, which is a very scary time for the majority of Protoss players. And there's already 1 Colossus and about to be a 2nd one. So Nerchio's going to skip this initial attack, which did force out a lack of probes from MC, who stopped probing early on. He added on the 2nd cannon. He's 59 probes, which could have been a lot higher. So it's not a terrible thing that Nerchio didn't attack there. But what he is doing is keeping and preserving all these units. and then going to hit even harder when the Vipers are ready. So he brings out the Colossus and then just goes...
I think in the end, if we really kind of theorize that down, that supply block that he had around 118 supply did kind of hinder what he wanted to do there with that. So, but doing the slower route here, choosing that option is still okay. There is a lot of firepower in that Protoss army, though, with 3 Void Rays, etc. And force fields against these Hydra numbers can still work out okay.
And I think MC is starting to realize that this attack didn't happen, and so he's starting to prepare for the natural stage 2. Oh, hold on a second. No, Nerchio should not go in. There's no reason to go in right now. It's like you don't go for your original timing and then you don't go for the second time. You go in between. It doesn't make sense. MC knows what's going on. So he's gone up to the Templar Archives and is going to have to use his Phoenixes very well, maybe to snipe the Vipers while they come out. That's one thing he could do.
Is he really going to push? No, that was scary.
If he attacks in there, loses this, and then the Vipers come alone.
Oh, and there we go. He actually does catch some of these Hydralisks on the reinforce, and that's exactly a very, very good use of those.
He went in because he almost caught a Colossus by itself. Shields were down on that Colossus. MC almost made a mistake there.
Scary stuff. He has to keep himself well bunkered down in between these 2 locations. And
these Phoenixes could snipe.
Ooh. Yeah, he's actually going to go for this from these locations, but you're right. Those Phoenix on the reinforce from the Vipers.
They can snipe the Vipers, and then if the Vipers don't get there with the rest of the army, Nerchio's going to bring his Hydrals back. He needs to clear the Phoenixes.
Yeah, it makes everything redundant if he loses those Vipers.
Oh, the Phoenixes! They're going. There's a Viper there. Nerchio has to hide it.
Keep it alive. Keep it alive. Where's the second one?
On the 3rd.
Okay. So
and MC sees the 4th base, but sees no drones, no gases. It's 3 base economy Nerchio, but MC just needs to hold on. He's in a really good position. If he can get +2, if he lands the feedbacks, does he have? Yeah, he does. Okay, so if he lands the right feedbacks here,
and even with an overseer in there, if he hallucinates Colossi, it's going to make it really hard. Battle micro at that point in time to actually pull the right ones with only 2.
If MC hold end the game, it's that big.
And he's actually just going to greet all of this. He sees a lot of these roaches. Some of them are move command through that corner.
He got the feedbacks!
Fantastic move there by MC.
He can go. He can chase. He's got +2. He can go.
Really strong resilience. Those Phoenix, as well as the Blink Stalkers, now in hot pursuit of this army. Nerchio trying to sneak on out down this bottom right-hand side, but this is scary. This army is so strong.
18 roaches coming in, but there's so many Void Rays, and Nerchio didn't hit his original timing. He tried to hit a second, more powerful one, but that didn't work either. And now MC has 200 supply. He's got 4 Colossus untouched. More Vipers are being made. He's going to have to kind of get energy on the other ones, but he's missed his opportunity. And now MC can clear up the 4th base. He can take his own 4th base, can even go for the win here.
Yeah.
He doesn't necessarily need to. He does have +3 on the way and 4 extra gateways, but picking off that base alone is massive. He can clear all the creep spread in the middle of the map, and this is just a wonderful position for the boss toss. And this was the more likely map for Nerchio to win than the 3rd map, which makes it even more difficult.
Really good concave here for Nerchio. If he's going to do anything, this is his best opportunity. Pull 3 Colossi forwards, bringing 1 or 2 of them down.
This is such a sick fight for Nerchio. Look at his concave.
There was no force fields at all to actually hold that off.
Oh my god, MC!
Wow.
MC's just lost everything. He's on creep, and that was a beautiful setup by Nerchio.
Utterly brilliant.
As much as MC was just in the driving seat, now he's in the passenger seat, and Nerchio's like, dude, I'm the driver.
That was a flawless engagement there by Nerchio. He may have lost a few units, but it was great.
Surround, Vipers, everything. Perfect. If that was controlled better by MC, and maybe he saw that coming, then he wins that. But that was beautiful. And now there's no Colossus.
What do you do?
You Hydra, Link, it doesn't matter.
He could bring down that. He could do anything. He could do anything. He's just going to go straight for the Stalkers here. MC now staring down the barrel, blinking to his heart's content, trying to keep himself alive. But those Hydralists with their DPS just trying to kill off what they can. The Blink micro is actually fantastic here for MC. But every trade that goes on is certainly hurting MC a lot because the reinforcements just keep on coming.
Yeah, Nerchio just has to trade off these units and just keep MC's supply count low. He's got 80 more roaches on the way. He has the 4th base at the top. And I cannot believe that just happened. I actually cannot believe that.
Like, he was clearing up the creep, but he felt so confident to step onto it. And Nerchio in there, I would love to see that engagement again, actually, because it was one of the better ZVP engagements we've seen in a long time.
That was really, really well done by Nerchio. And you know, mistakes by this one mistake from a player and then capitalizing on that mistake by the other one is going to end in a result like that. Now we have Ultras coming in. Ultras are pretty good in this position, despite not having melee upgrades here, which we see coming in, is that they have so many hit points that they just kind of stick at the front of the army, and don't melt as fast as Zerglings and Roaches, which means the Hydralisks, who do have +2, can just hit, and they really do hit hard. And the only way to really stop the Hydralisk from doing that is to have Storm, but there's no way to get that at this point. So even though the Ultras seems like a bit of a weird choice, it's the right choice here.
Yeah.
And MC needs to go back to defensive mode. He needs a 4th base. He needs to get his supply back up to 200 again.
His economy's still stumped, and you can't actually... I mean, that 4th base, if Nerchio gets whiff of that, if he even smells that out for a second, it'll probably die. MC has to somehow keep that hidden, keep it alive via sneaky means, and he's just going to move down there. Oh, but he could actually set up a good concave in this position as well if he wants to. He's going to try.
I cannot... I'm still going through that engagement by Nerchio before.
Utterly
it was
great.
So sick. So sick. And now he's looking to try and end MC here. Is it going to be possible?
Ultralisk move forwards on this right flank of those Stalkers. The 2 Colossi with that blink back were left a little bit vulnerable, but there's no Vipers, so he can't quite kill this off just yet.
Yeah, he's heading on Vipers. 2 Colossus is a pain in the backside here.
And the small contingent of units down to that bottom position, if they could get the kill on that 4th base, I don't think they will.
Feels like MC's got in overdrive right now. He's just microing everything to the highest possible that he has
to.
He's gone into over 5 more Ultralisks.
With those Vipers as well added on, this is going to be scary, because does he even have a single High Templar with him? No, he doesn't. I
mean, MC does have +3, and he does have an Immortal with these 2 Colossus, but with if the Vipers can bring out, because 1 Viper can adopt 2 units here, if he has enough energy and bring out both of those Colossus, he can fight properly into this.
He's moving on to the
He's waiting
creep.
for the Viper.
He has to wait for it. He needs to pull those Colossi forwards, and he actually goes for the Blinding Cloud instead, forces this away from his location to save some of his economy.
I think he's waiting for the Ultras. He could have abducted, but he waited for the Ultras.
Loses a Viper whilst it's draining, and the Stalkers, I mean, you can always... MC always trying to keep himself alive with this Blink Stalker micro, trying his best, but those Ultralisks now carving up those Stalkers as best they can. They leave the Colossi vulnerable. The Ultralisk on top of them. One of them will end up falling. Second one in hot pursuit as well. Actually kills off 2 of the Ultralisks, but the second Colossi falls.
Look at the supply count, though. Not that much different.
It's all about the Blink Stalkers, baby. That's what MC does best. Can he keep this alive? He splits them up just a little bit. And Nerchio now, from Blink Stalker harassment alone, MC's keeping himself alive.
Yeah, the Stalkers are doing really well. MC blinks forward here. More Ultralisks and Zerglings are on the way, and he's got to be careful. Oh, because he blinked forward there. MC blinked forward, which means he couldn't blink out, and he took a lot of damage from those Ultralisks. But he is surviving on here. The +3 attack is remarkable on these Stalkers. Great control here from MC, and he's mining from a 4th base. Likewise, Nerchio has a 5th up to the top, but he needs to mine from it here. And with Immortals and Archons added on, MC does smell weakness and is coming in for a kill. What a great game we've had.
Yeah, what a great start to the day as MC now looking to punish this base.
Yeah, the Ultras can't get close enough.
Yeah, there's really not a whole lot he can do. Every single time he goes in there, he does have energy for transfuses, can keep these alive for a little bit longer, but there is a timer above them as MC continues to pile on the pressure, and he's warping in even more here to try and shut down Nerchio. And Ultralisk comes in from the back, trying to get the wraparound, but the Zealots denying a lot of this.
Not enough.
Actually doing a lot. The Stalkers just rip up these Ultralisks, as do the Archons, tank the damage. And there you go, GG. MC ties it up 1-1.
Wow, what a back and forth game there. And I think that we can all safely say that nobody was really going to be expecting Nerchio to come and give a fight to MC here. A lot of people, including anonymous sources, say that Nerchio was most likely looking at 0-4 in this group, but not today. He's looking good. But these first 2 maps were favored towards Nerchio a little bit here, despite the plays against each other. Heavy Rain is going to be MC's opportunity to take this series now.
It is.
He almost died there, and he knows it.
Yeah, he did.
Almost went 0-2 against Nerchio.
There were 2 big windows of timings that we were talking about. That one where he got supply capped and unfortunately wasn't able to really push on forward. That second one with the Vipers, but MC dealt with it fantastically. And then, again, we have to give credit to Nerchio for that ridiculous engagement. I cannot wait to go back and watch the replay of that one, because that was phenomenal. And that's not just caster terminology of like, oh yeah, that was really good, guys. That actually was ridiculously good. All right, we're getting into game number 3 now. Heavy Rain, our map. 1 apiece between these 2 fellas, as this will determine who moves on to the winner's game. Let's get right on into it, as the Polish player goes up against the South Korean to determine who moves on to the next match. Spawn up to the top left as our red Protoss, representing South Korea, ladies and gentlemen, it's MC. And down to the bottom right-hand corner, we have our blue Zerg. Representing Team Acer, it's Nerchio.
All right, so heavy rain here. The reason why this is slightly more favored towards MC, in my opinion, is because Nerchio refuses to use Swarm Host. This is the ideal map to use Swarm Host on and to drag the game long and play a really epic game. Really epic game. But he doesn't like to do that. So this means that he will most likely be playing a more predictable style, which would be, again, a maybe Zergling Roach Hydra play. But MC, I think, looked pretty good against that in the previous game until he made that mistake, and Nerchio had that beautiful fight. So we'll see how this is going to shape up. This is can be quite an aggressive map. On the left-hand side of the third base that Nerchio would need to take in the center is a very narrow choke point here, where force fields, stalker attacks, and mortal attacks can be very, very, very difficult to play with, because it's just 3 force fields and you stop the whole Zerg army from coming in. So interested to see what MC's going to do. For the first time, he's actually changing up his build. I don't think he used... No, okay, so he was very greedy on game number 1, and he went for a Nexus or Forge Nexus in game number 2. So changing up to gateway play, he could take some influence from San here.
Yeah, he
could try Zealots early to harass Nerchio. But in my experience of watching Nerchio, is he never, ever takes damage versus that. Because he doesn't get Zergling speed against it. He goes straight for Roaches really early on and always manages to push it back and then finds himself in an advantageous position.
And now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure we saw some of that aggression come out in the round of 32 against Nerchio, but he survived. He persisted on and was able to deal with it. And the thing is that Nerchio, from game number 1 to game number 2 in this series, that second game really shows a prime example of the fact that Nerchio is by no means some kind of one-trick pony with that very, very heavy air style. He realized MC had that Stargate early, he didn't want to go into it, didn't feel as comfortable, but the mid-game that we saw there, even into the late game from Nerchio, was just still very strong on the ground. So MC's got to be careful of all possibilities.
MC's taken double gases here and built a Zealot, which means his Nexus is slowed down a little bit, but he doesn't have the highest amount of gas income because he's only mining from 2 in each, not 3. And the Zealot here can put a bit of pressure on. The Nexus will follow this, and then you can imagine that we could see a Stalker straight away from MC. MC's favorite unit is Stalker. Stalker could put a continuation in pressure, considering there is no gas at all, which was spotted there as a Zealot. Trying to save the probe. Look at that.
Oh.
That was like the probe was being bullied in school. Turned around and just went poof. Just punched that Ling in the face.
The Zealot was the teacher. It's like, don't let them bully you.
Yeah.
Well, he's going to go down to that third base now. And at least Nerchio saw it for all intents and purposes. And Zergling tries to get in and doesn't really get a whole lot of information other than what is the normal gateway expansion here of MC. Yeah,
this is very cheeky, the Zealot here, who went back and then swung around the right-hand side to then get to this hatchery here, which was a little bit unexpected from Nerchio. 4 Lings are coming out to deal with that. MC's got a lot of gas. Is this going to be sentries? What is this gas for? It's a lot of gas. 2 extra gateways thrown in here.
And he's still lingering around there with his probe, actually. So we could even see a third gateway.
Yeah, 3 gateways, so 4 gateways in total now. And there's a lot of gas with this. A lot of gas. So when Warp Gate finishes in a second. So is this like a Sentry Mothership Core recall kind of play?
It could be Stalker from 4 gates, actually, if we're looking at it. Because think about it. If Nerchio is the guy that you already outlined, doesn't go for Zergling speed and goes for Roaches against something like this, why go for a lot of Zealots? Why not go for Stalkers and micro them against it?
Overlord. Pop. That's a big, big supply cap. Massive, actually. Look at it. Massive.
Yeah.
Ooh. Huge.
It's big,
and there's
guys.
There's a probe to the top right now.
Stalker, Stalker, Stalker.
Yeah, you could be right here. It could be a lot of Stalkers. And then with the Time Warp, he can trap them, slow down any units here.
Seals himself in there as well to put this on. So this is... whoa, it's actually okay. He's going to go for the sentries.
Yeah, I think on this side, if you can force field well on the third base of Nerchio and then try to target it down, it could be a nice early move here. Spinecrawler coming in. Roach has been added on too. For the first time, I think Nerchio did see the 4 gateways, so he knows that something's coming here, which is why he's starting to build a lot of units. But because of that supply block, it's coming a lot later, these units, than they should have been. And even another Overlord going to go down.
It's gonna
That's 2 supply blocks in this game, kind of. I mean, Overlord's just popped at the same time, but...
Yeah. And there's
MC!
Those are Civ-like force
not
fields.
MC force fields.
Didn't really trap a lot in. Oh well, MC now is going to go back to the drawing board, pull back a little bit, and then now look to engage once again.
All right, Nerchio, if you can defend this, he's okay. MC does have backup plan, which is Gas's Forge all coming in, so we'll see.
Yeah, and now trying to harass this third base. His whole goal is kill that third and try and get out. He has the energy for the recall, but now he doesn't, so it's time warp alone and then a walkout up until he has extra energy.
Nerchio adding on a couple of drones here. It's not safe yet. Spinecrawl in good position. Queens with high energy too.
Yeah, this is
8
actually...
drones. Woohoo! Nerchio, you're feeling confident, Sunshine.
Yeah. I think that there's just too much force field expenditure if he pushes in with that concave to make this actually valid, because a lot of his units are zealots, which force fields aren't really going to help a whole lot unless he traps stuff in.
I feel like this is a little bit playing with fire from Nerchio here, and also MC, because MC doesn't know if more units have been added on or drones, but Nerchio's going drones here, and MC could push in, but Nerchio playing with fire here, this is actually really good for him. MC's going to have a bit of a scout and have a look what's going on behind enemy lines. And we'll have a look inside the main base to see the layer being added on. But this is really good from Nerchio that he's not added on drones. I cannot stress how important this is. If they still were units, then he would be in bad position. MC sees that there's quite a few drones. He's adding on an Immortal behind this. This is pressure into an Immortal attack most likely, but I really have to say that Nerchio hasn't really overcommitted too much with the units. MC's going to poke forward now and really push the issue a little bit. More roaches are coming in.
Well, that's the thing, exactly. He needs to make Nerchio feel like he's in a threatening position, right? He absolutely has to slow him down some way with that layer now finishing up. And the Hydralisk going down. So Nerchio, you said it right yourself. He's not really overcommitted. He made a few more roaches, but with this Hydralisk Den on the way, it's really going to help him out later on.
And Nerchio did spot the robotics facility follow-up here. It's hard to tell exactly what that means, but the first thing that's going to pop to any Zerg player's head is, oh god, is this an Immortal attack coming next? And he's managed to squeeze out more drones. So I think the balance, the art between drones and units here was really well constructed here by Nerchio. Even though he's not the highest drone count, I think that it could have been a lot worse. Let's just say it that way.
And MC cannot cut corners here if he's going to do this. He has to, like with Burrow on the way, if for some reason he just goes now and doesn't have an observer with this, then it'll really, really delay everything that's going on. The Warp Prism's rallied over there. Ideally, normally you would have an observer queued up behind that.
Yeah, this is a lot of force fields, by the way. You know, he preserved the force fields from earlier. There's 14 sentries. This is 14 sentries. That is so many force fields.
You asked me at the beginning, you know, what unit epitomizes MC, and the Stalker with Blink is really up there, but also sentries with force fields, they're up there as well,
There's
man.
a +1 attack here as well, remember? I think this may be a killing blow from MC. It's going to be interesting to see how Nerchio can fight this. Like, he's going to lose the ramp. The force fields can hit the ramp here. Oh, imagine if he cut off so many of those units.
Drones actually came off the line for a second there for Nerchio,
yeah,
so
Nerchio
he's very worried.
Yeah, he knows that this is a very powerful attack.
Yeah, so many force fields in. He throws down quite a lot of them on this right-hand side, seals out a few units as well as trapping some, so that's a cost-efficient trade here for MC to begin with. And it doesn't even matter that he spent like almost 10 force fields there, because he has so many sentries, so many force fields at his disposal. If he keeps doing this, catches a few more once again with Time Warp on the north position,
it's a really good attack here. These are the better force fields, and the Time Warp to the top left, slowing all the units down. So many more force fields are still available here. This is a great attack from MC.
Burrow's available, but the observers, they're right there with it as well. The drones come off the line. Nerchio knows he's in a lot of trouble now as the force field waves just do not end. Units for MC just haven't died off. They refuse to die. And Nerchio,
Nerchio, you cheeky guy! You cheeky little guy! A smiley face, nice attack, GG called. And MC does take the series 2-1. And as I thought, it was either going to be 2-0 Nerchio or 2-1 MC. I never saw Nerchio winning on this map against MC.
Yeah.
And Nerchio almost had him.
Exactly.
On game number 2.
We can't forget that either. The fact that it was very, very close. Down to the wire. Nerchio almost had him there. And, well, MC advances on. The boss toss, as a lot of people expected, does get his winner's match against either Bling or Sam.
That's right. Unfortunate for Nerchio there, but you know, he came into this as the with Bling hand-in-hand underdog, but played a really good game there. And that probably is not going to scare Scan. San doesn't care, man. San is crazy. But for Blink, who could be matched up against Nerchio today, if he doesn't do well against San, that's going to put a bit of fear into Blink, because Blink's like, yeah, you know, I could probably beat Nerchio and find myself in another PvP. And as Todd said, if Blink's going to go through, all he needs to do really is win one PvP, because if he can beat Nerchio, then he just needs a PvP to go through.
Yeah.
But now that must strike a bit of fear into the Englishman, because Nerchio played well.
He did. He played very, very well. And from what we saw from Bling during the round of 32, he can win those PvPs.
Yeah, but he kind of sucks us as Zerg. Let's just put it that way. He doesn't like playing Zerg, and yeah, it would be hard.
All right. Well, without further ado, guys, let's hear from the winner. Advancing on to the winner's match, Mr. MC.
MC, congratulations, 2-1. Let's talk about the match a little bit first. First map, what went wrong for you?
I saw Hydro Risk then, so I saw his Hydro Risk and Roach, but he hidden Spire, and I didn't catch this, so I'm just lost for Mutalisk. Yeah.
And you don't like playing against those Mutas either, do you?
Yeah. All Protoss hate Mutalisk.
Okay, especially the boss toss. Second game, everything was going really well. Game looked like it was yours, and then you took a fight that made you drop in supply really heavily. What were you thinking at that point? Did you think, oh no, I've lost?
I'm already 0-1, so I thought I'm winning, so I make some nervous, so my hand is shake, so no, I can't make good Port Spirit and good feedback, something good blink, no micro, so I lost it, and oh my god, I'm so bad, and I'm just trying my blink control, so I'm really winning, so I can win, but it was really bad game for me.
Okay, and then match 3. Todd said to me that he's seen you do this build before against Snoot, and he kind of knew what was coming, and I think he's probably going to tell us in a minute on the analysis, but halfway through, you kind of knew that you were winning, and you sent him a smiley. Why?
Because Todd is my close friend, and he got Nerchio's smiling in red game, and I saw.
Okay.
So Todd wants revenge, this one. So I'm just try and last game before start, Todd messaged me, make some fine confidence, and you are boss toss, so I'm little bit lost, nervous. Okay. So yeah, just it's for Todd.
So it's Todd's revenge. He's your Brotos.
Yeah, Brotos.
Okay, MC is through to the winner's game in Group D. He has one more game to play. It's going to be against San or Bling. We're going to find out who it's going to be very shortly. But first, let's go and get some analysis from his Brotos, Mr. Todd.
Good times, good times. The president is my Brotos. How happy does this make me? Thanks very much, Red Eye. Great interview as always. Great performance by MC. Even though he disagrees with that, he only sees his mistake. There was a lot of good things that he did. The first game didn't go his way. He was surprised by the Spire. I want to take a look at the second game because the fight that he took, it wasn't good. And I want to take a look at what made that mistake happen and why did he let his guard down? Why did he get overconfident? So we're going to jump at that moment where Nerchio has just reached Vipers. Basically, Nerchio on this map, he wanted to do a Roach Hydralisk attack over here at the expansion, but then he realized this wasn't going to work, or he lost his confidence into this attack. So he's like, I'm just going to add Vipers and then make a next timing work. The thing is, if you look at the supply, MC has already pretty much enough to make sure he's going to be able to hold as long as he doesn't get abducted too hard and things go too bad for him. Hello, Brotos.
What's up?
We're looking at this game because I want to see what happened with the fight, that next fight. I think this fight you did very, very well. So now you know Vipers are coming and feedbacks are going to be important, right?
Yeah, very important.
So we're going to take a look at MC's view and play the game from here. Can we see, with just MC's view, what's coming his way, please? So take me through these fights. What's most important here, besides the feedback? Do you need to force field, Guardian Shield, for sure, or explain me what you think.
I think if you play this army, you should first feedback, because if you force field, its Guardian Shield is okay. But if you force field and Zerg hook
Abduct.
Colossus, hook Colossus destroy your force field. So feedback first. Focus feedback. This unit is really imba.
Okay. Very important question. I think most people know that how important feedback are going to be, but after holding this fight, what's very important? Do you need to know what is going to remax on? Do you need to counterattack? In this case, you choose to counterattack. How big of a mistake do you think this is? Like, if you could replay this game and then you are in that moment, what will you do now?
Counter is good because Zerg need consume from Viper.
Yeah.
Need to get mana, so if you go direct, they can't consume.
Yeah, they won't have enough energy to abduct. So you think you want to hit the timing before he has enough energy to abduct, but now you're very far out on the creep. So don't you think you should have pulled back after sniping this base, or you think you just went too far? What was your mistake here?
I thought, I didn't know hotkey. All my army is #1 because I'm really nervous. So shake hand.
Okay.
So all army is same hotkey 1, 2, 3. So I can't force field and blink. So
but you're the boss toss. Why is your army in control 1? What's happened, man?
Because I'm lost a lot, so make some nervous.
Okay, you need to relax, man. You're a good player. After this, let's watch it quickly. Let's watch the fight.
Okay, can I say something boss toss?
Yeah.
It's just handicap.
Is handicap to be boss toss? Why?
Yeah, just throw army and I can beat him.
Oh, you wanted to throw your army away?
Yeah, I just throw it. Yeah, for handicap. Look, throw. Play, throw. Yeah, throw army, throw.
That's what you wanted. You knew this was going to happen.
Yeah.
And then you knew that behind this you can
throw.
Throw?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Easy peasy, man.
Throw away your army when you're the boss toss and then win easy peasy. That's basically the way of the boss toss.
Yeah, it's for fun. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, MC. That's it for the analysis. I don't think I could have done better myself. Let's go and head on over to Red Eye.
Thank you very much to the bro tosses there. Good job he wasn't a throw toss. He is safely through to the upper bracket, and he will now face either San or Blink. Don't go too far away, ladies and gentlemen, because we are having a debut of a British player playing StarCraft 2 at the round of 16 in WCS Europe. Cheer for him, because if he wins, I have to get a tattoo. Thanks, Carmack. We'll be back after this.